Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect, starting with the 144,000 governing body of the nation of Yahshua Allah, and the men, the women, the true believers in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. May he have mercy on you in these last days. It's your brother, I'm Nawa Allah, coming back at you with another quick lesson, and Lord willing, it'll be edifying. And this lesson is dealing with the word. You see it right there. It says eradicate. You already know where I'm going with this. Before I even read that, I got it on another device, the etymology of eradicate. Eradicate, to destroy utterly, literally, pull up by the roots. I'm going to just stop right there. Now, it says over here, eradicate means to completely destroy, eliminate, or get rid of something, typically something harmful, like a disease, a pest, or social ill. Well, we know that the so-called white man, Esau Edom, is very harmful to society. Okay? We know that the diseases on this earth comes from, all right, at the end of the day, Yahweh Bashem Shai, but they're here because of iniquity. And who is the man of sin? The so-called white man. Who was the earth given to? The so-called white man. Therefore, he's on the clock. He's the manager. He's the one that's got to be judged. And everyone who decides they want to be a part of this kingdom and participate in the wickedness that's in this kingdom. It says, originating from the Latin eradicus, rooted out in the 16th century, it literally means to pull up by the roots. All right. So we got examples. Meaning to abolish, destroy, or eradicate something completely, to tear up by the roots. Synonyms for eradications. It's eliminate, wipe out, exterminate, annihilate, obliterate, root out, extirpate, abolish, stamp out, purge. Remember that movie, The Purge? See, that is a cultural attachment to this devil. All right, because through violence and through covetous and through wickedness is how he's able to grow his so-called his world. I guess you could put it like that. His agendas, or whatever the case may be. It says, eradicate poverty, eradicate a disease, eradicate corruption, eradicate weeds. In the spirit, you can associate not only the so-called white man, but this wicked ass kingdom as a disease. All right, you could look at it as corruption, but because until you're actually in the new bodies that the Lord has promised his elect, you're in a corruptible body, which means you're gonna be prone to iniquity and sin. Okay? So let's go through the precepts to see what is going to be eradicated. All right? You already know though. America, aka Babylon, aka Assyria, aka Rome 2.0, aka Greece, aka Nineveh, Egypt, all right, Sodom and Gomorrah. All of those kingdoms were what? Removed, rooted out. What makes you think this kingdom isn't going to be rooted out? And just to put it in perspective, those kingdoms were rooted out in a sense. There's still land masses there where you can go where ancient Babylon is right now, which is today Iraq. You can go where ancient Assyria is, ancient Nineveh, all right, even Israel. But when it comes to America, when it's time for this kingdom to go down like those other ones, you're not going to be able to come back here because it's going to be annihilated, eliminated, obliterated, rooted out, abolished, stamped out, eradicated. And the scriptures gives you a visual example of how this is going to happen. We're going to be reading out of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Peter, the book of Peter, 2 Peter, Malachi. All scriptures dealing with the eradication of this bitch. There is more than that, but I'm going to go with those few. And Lord willing, this will be edifying. And this is the spirit, because this word came out on the line about, I don't know, almost 3-4 weeks ago. And I told the brother when he had brought that word out, he was the brother Mashal. He's like, look the word eradicate up. And I was the one that looked it up. When I looked it up, I was like, damn, this talking about America. And I said, Lord willing, I'm going to get a chance to do a lesson on it. And here we are. Call her lawyer, by Shemi Shah. This is Isaiah. Oh, 1 second. One second. We're going to start at Isaiah chapter 13. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 1. The burden of Babylon, America, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain. The banner is the scriptures. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, the prophets. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, and to tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignations to destroy the whole land. That's America is talking about. You see, when people read these scriptures, they don't understand that this is a future prophecy. And we see this prophecy being fulfilled by the day, by the hour, as the days go by. Right? It says, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Against who? Babylon. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Why? Because of the destructive things that are going to be happening leading up to World War III. Right now, we're witnessing the beginning stages of World War III. But ultimately, and you can see how the other nations are not happy with Babylon. And they're not happy with the prophecy that it says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. But because of prophecy's sake, all these things must happen, including the other nations being, when I say the other nations, I'm talking about NATO. The allies of America are no longer allies. They are slowly turning away, thus saith the Lord, because of prophecy. All right? And that is going to help when it's time to eradicate America. That's where the momentum is going to come from. It's going to be led by Russia, but it's also going to include all the other nations that are in odds with the pomp and the pride and the approach that America's taking, being led by yours truly, King DJ Trump, the cruel Lord, right? Isaiah 13:8. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, and they shall be amazed at one another, their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. All right? And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Whoa. Who are the sinners? The so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're the sinners because the Lord, Yahweh Bashir Rashad, did not give the other nations the law, statutes, and commandments. So because of your iniquity, and how is it your iniquity? Because when you were given the opportunity to repent and turn back from the idolatry and the ways of Babylon, you chose not to for whatever reason, mainly disbelief and rebellion. So now the Lord said, I'm going to destroy the sinners thereof out of it, of this place, America, through the eradication process. You see, it says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, and the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil. Esau is the end of the world, so this is his world, the so-called white man. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And what did he do that was so wicked? He changed the faces of the judges. Who are the judges? Starting with our Savior, starting with our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and Yahushua, and the prophets. All right, and the kings of the Bible. Made their faces what? White. Made their heritage what? Like the so-called white man. And removed you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans to where you think you're an African. You think your heritage only goes far as back to Africa when you came here over on a ship. Right? It says, I will punish the world for their evil. So the punishing of the world is talking about Esau's world and all those that are partakers of it, mainly the Lord's enemies, which are the other nations. But then it says, and the wicked. So the world and who's in charge of the world, the so-called white man, and the wicked. For what? For their iniquity. What is iniquity? Sin upon sin upon sin. You said, but you just said that they weren't given the law, statutes, and commandments. That's right. But just because what they're doing and how they live their life still doesn't wipe away that iniquity. Making unrighteous decrees. For instance, in America, it's legal for a man to marry another man, for a woman to marry another woman. But that's why the Lord said, I'm going to punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. You see, it says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, starting with the so-called white man. There's not going to be too many more Pride months. I really hope this is the last year. I hope there is no Pride month. Actually, I hope martial law kick in and the Lord ruins everybody's summer. And just all hell break loose. The lights go out, it's hot, everybody's stinking and shit, perplexed, scared, hungry. No more fun, okay? And just waiting for this bitch to get blown to smithereens. Will that be something that's going to be comfortable for a lot of people? No. But it's a necessary thing in order for us to not have to continue to wake up. It is awful as kingdom that is like literally on the chopper block as we speak. It says, Isaiah 13:11, I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay the haughtiness of the terrible. It says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts and in the day of his fierce anger. And there's only one weapon, one what's the word? There's only one thing that can move the earth and shake it off course, and that's an ICBM missile. Okay, and we know that all the other nations have them, and we know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah is going to put the spirit on them to shoot those missiles right here in America. Annihilation, overkill, total wipeout. All right. It says, let me get to the hold up. I'm gonna read this. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. It says, they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Right. Now a lot of people can't flee to their own land. It's probably too late to fly back to Iran or anywhere in the Middle East where there is a no-fly zone now, the so-called Middle East, because we know, that that's not what it really is. But for all intents and purposes, nobody is flying over there right now. So the Iranians are here in America that wanted their freedom, that wanted to live a life of sin, even though they don't got the truth, but they do better in Iran than they do here. Because if you're a Mo in Iran, your ass getting put to death. I believe that comes from Leviticus chapter 20. Okay, that's our law. But here in this kingdom, you'll get put to death for doing something like that. All right, and furthermore, just speaking on it in certain situations, your whole life could be turned upside down. Because here in America, Isaiah 5:20, I'm gonna get there real quick. This is why, one of the reasons why America's got to be eradicated. Isaiah 5:20, it says, woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and lightness for darkness. And light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. That's this kingdom. So that's why it's got to be eradicated. All right, I'll give you another example why it's got to be eradicated. I brought this out on my last lesson, but it's a similar talking points, so the scriptures line up. This is Numbers 35 and 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. That land is talking about America today. And the blood is the blood of all the indigenous people, the so-called Negroes, when they came over on slave ships. Okay? It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. That would be so-called white man, Esau, Edom. So for every baby that was given to an alligator for gator bait, every lynching, every pick a nigga day, you go hang a nigga, and then you sit around, you Edomites, and you had your food, and you laughed while they cut the rod of the so-called Negro man's rod off and put it in his mouth. Just all sorts of wickedness that has been done on this land. So it's obvious that the only way to resolve it is you gotta shed the blood of those who actually did these things, which goes back to what? Iniquity. And because there's so much of it, the only thing you can do here is burn this bitch up. And that's why it's gonna be eradicated. It ain't gonna be just a fire, little pockets of no, 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 no. No. This is Isaiah 13 and 14 again. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as the sheep that no man taketh up. It says that every man shall turn to his own people and flee one to his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Who is them? Well, whoever's in charge. And at this point right now, them would be the so-called white man who the earth was given to, and any of the other nations. So if you're in America and you haven't repented, and you really feel like Jesus is your God, Allah is your God, Buddha is your God, Hare Krishna is your God, or yourself, because you don't believe there's a God. And when I say God, I'm talking about power, of one that could bring you to life and put you to death, right? So then you'll be joined hand in hand with the gods of this world. And so the Lord says you're going to be thrust through by the sword. The modern day sword is the guns, okay? Which before America's eradicated, is going to go through a time of trouble. I'm about to read some of that right now, right here. So on top of being wiped off the face of the earth, even before that, this place is going to be turned upside down. It's going to be a land of lawlessness, 5,000 square miles, of cannibalism, of evil times. All right? Nobody having any feelings or any emotions for one another except who? Those who repented and are under the covering and protection of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is Isaiah 13 and 15 and 16. It says, and their children also shall be dashed to pieces before thy eyes. Yeah, all those who are a part of this kingdom and the operations of it and the helping forward the iniquity, right? So if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, and you're looking forward to Pride Month and Juneteenth again, well, just know these scriptures apply to you. It says, and their children shall be dashed into pieces. So like their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver as for gold. They shall not delight in it. You're not going to be able to pay your way out of this coming destruction. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's right. And the Medes today would be the Russians. See, everybody know this thing that's happened over here in Iran is a part of prophecy. It is giving us, those who know, who are waiting on the Lord, a sign of hope, but also a sign to be patient, because the end is not here yet. We still got to experience wives getting ravished and houses being spoiled before the complete eradication. See, this is why you people don't understand what you're dealing with, man. It says, verse 19, in Babylon, America, the glory of kingdoms, the kingdom where everybody want to rest their head, where everybody know they can come and be a homosexual and not get put to death. All right? Where you can come and deal with little children. If you get caught, you can go flee to another land where they don't have an extradition law. Right? It says, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So the Lord telling you right there, as an example, you go over to Sodom and Gomorrah right now, where that area is, it's still full of pitch and ash. That's eradication. That's what's coming to America. That's what's coming, and rightfully so. Because this place is worse than all the other kingdoms. America, aka Babylon, is the most wickedest kingdom to ever be in charge. This got the most body counts as far as murders. It has the doctrine of the whole world is drunk off of this. Salaki. The whole world is drunk off the doctrine of Babylon. And that doctrine is women's rights, divorcing, shit, unbalanced, checking systems or banking systems, I would say. The food is defiled. The water is defiled. All right. Everybody's sick. Okay. This kingdom is the most wickedest ever. It says, verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, America. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. That's how you know this is annihilation. Because again, the ancient Babylon is still what? Is still over there in Iraq. It says, neither shall Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts and desert lie there. And their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Why is this? Because it's been eradicated, annihilated, uprooted, removed from off the face of the earth. All right, keep it going. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1. I'm going to be jumping around in this. The word of the Lord spoke against Babylon. See, the word of the Lord. The word is the Bible. And who brings the word out? This is Amos chapter 3. In verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Surely the Lord will do nothing, but revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. And they do this right here. The word that the Lord spoke against Babylon and against the land of Chaldees by Jeremiah the prophet. See? The voice of the Lord is from the prophets. Not Pastor Pork Chop, not the Pope, all right? Or any Catholic priest or any reverend. If you not teaching in the name of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, and the destruction of America, and who the devil is on earth, and letting the truth come out about who Yahweh, the world English calls Jesus, died for, this is a no-go. You know, you got a problem. It says, in other words, you've been learning from the wrong person. It says, declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up the standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Moradok is broken into pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken into pieces. That's why this place is going to be eradicated. Just another reason, idols. For out of the north there come up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate. Russia, and then the company of the other nations. and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast, because this place is going to be eradicated. Jumping down to verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From this she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Their nukes. And they're pointed right here in America. Jumping down to verse 13. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be holy. Not holy as a separate, but all this bitch. The whole United States of America shall be desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about all the other nations. What does array mean? Let's see. Arrange, set out, lay in order. Okay, so put yourself in order. That's what the Lord is saying to other nations. Arrange your missiles. It says, verse 14, Jeremiah 50:14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, spare no nukes. For she have sinned against the Lord. That's why. Shout against her round about. She have given her head. Her foundation are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her. As she have done, Salakia, do unto her. Didn't America drop bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? If that's the case, the Lord said, take vengeance upon her. As she have done, do unto her. That is going to happen to this place. Jump down to verse 29. Call together the archers against her, against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, all you nations that have nuclear missiles, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. That's why if you didn't get out the country, if you're from those lands over there, the so-called Middle East, you might be stuck here. And it probably was the Lord's will for that to happen so that you could be eradicated. It says, verse 29 again, Jeremiah 50:29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work. Once again, what she done put out on the earth has to be repaid back. According to all that she have done, all the wickedness. Even now, the invasion of to Venezuela, the little thing they did over Nigeria, and how they are oppressing Cuba right now, right? Because when they took over the oil, they immediately was able to impact Cuba, all right, by doing what? What this devil love to do? Starve you out. It's like a mini siege over there right now. They don't got no lights. They don't have any like consistent medical facilities open, right? Cars, man, it's fucked up over there. But those are Israelites and they worship idols, so the Lord is judging them. But only for a while. It is about to change. And what they're going through, Lord willing, they're going to be able to watch this motherfucker get blowed up and cheer. You see? And cheer. Right? It says, Jeremiah 50 and 29 again. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done. Do unto her, for she have been proud against the Lord. Yeah. Because this devil will tell you in a minute. He is a God. All right? That's why he's coming up with a microchip. Not coming up. Has it ready for deployment. It says, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore, shall all her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war should be cut off in that day. And that's happening now. They're not letting you know the impact that this war's already done had on the soldiers that were over there that didn't want to be fighting. Not to mention, you got soldiers that's truly ready to go AWOL or choose to go to jail than to fight a war that they do not believe is legit. And we see people stepping down from this man's administration because they know there was not a legitimate reason to do what they have started with Iran, but it was supposed to happen this way because it's the Lord's will. It's the Lord's will to usher in World War III, and we believe it's going to be through the leadership of Donald Trump or his predecessor. We hope and pray it's Donald Trump that go ahead and hit the button. We hope and pray the Lord put the spirit on Putin to hit the button. And Little Rocket Man and the Red Dragon over there. All right? It says, verse 31, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. Esau, Edom, and his headquarters is America, Babylon. Saith the Lord, power of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. When you go into that word visit, it means punish. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst, and of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. What's a destroying wind? A nuclear bomb. It says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. See, he painting a picture for you. He says, set the other nations in array. Meaning, get y'all missiles, y'all arrows in order, right? And then he's sending fanners, right, to make sure this bitch, the wind, when those missiles detonate, that wind, that destructive wind, blow shit out of place, and then the heat melt everything and everybody. You see, it says. Verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Against him that lifted himself up in the brigandine, and spare ye not her young men. Destroy ye utterly all her hosts. That's the Lord saying, destroy America's army. Utterly destroy her armies, her weapons, her whole kingdom. Utterly. Jump down to verse 7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. See, this is a part of reason why this place got to be judged. Because the earth is drunken off of his doctrine, not the Lord. They don't drink the wine of the scriptures. They drink the wine of Esau, Edom. His democracy, how he think a country should be ran, and who should be in charge, and what laws are okay to break, and what laws to keep. Disregard God's law, but I have you swear on the Bible every day you go to court. Right? It says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Why? Because now they know they've been duped. They know that America is the reason why their economy is about to crash, why they're gonna have to go through a famine, right? Because of the least of the flock drawing them out, because of the doctrine of Babylon. Lie to you and tell you they got weapons of mass destruction. They're evil people. But in actuality, this is where the housing of the most wickedest spirits are. I take it back. It's wicked as spirits all over the earth. But this place, America, is where wickedness is projected out of across the four quarters of the earth. You'll know wickedness in a country that used to not have McDonald's and women's rights to now they are having fucking McDonald's or KFC, women's rights, voting, and then you see all other manner of wickedness come with that. Homosexuality, right? Crime going up, poverty at an all-time high, and the rich getting richer. Same playbook, a part of Esau Edom. That's how he get down. And America is the headquarters. All right? It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let her go, and let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the heaven and is filled up even into the skies. Hence, this is why America has to be eradicated. It says, it says, make bright the arrows. Jeremiah 51:11. Gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon, and his device is the nuclear missile. It says to destroy it, eradicate. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So it says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spoke against the inhabitants of Babylon. Through. Yeah, I'll just close out with two more precepts. This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. See, this is how you know this is talking about America. Because virgin often symbolizes never being touched. And America has not yet felt what it's like to have full-blown war all over the United States. The Civil War, sure. The Spanish-American War, sure. The French-American War, sure. The Mexican War with the Edomites, sure. We're talking about the type of war where limbs is getting blown off, okay, where it's this all hell breaking loose, okay. We're talking about ultimately thermonuclear destruction. Okay? So it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. The dust represents what? Confusion. Because they're not going to be able to think themselves out of this. The Lord's going to put a stop to it. Because this place has got to be eradicated. It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, For thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate, because you've been annihilated, you've been eradicated. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in that which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The elements of America, eradicated, rooted up, destroyed, annihilated. The earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. The wine of Babylon and his doctrine, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, everything, including you as an individual, if you're not on a chariot and you decided that America was going to be your home, and you wanted to be an Israelite in America, or you believe that Donald Trump is the right man, or you're going to vote the right person in charge, know and believe you will be eradicated along with those who are joined hand in hand with this devil. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness? It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's you. If you don't repent, annihilation is coming. Eradication is coming to America. I'm gonna close out with this one because this is the scripture to it just exemplifies that. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly. That don't have nothing to do with you, so-called white or up. That's anybody, all right, in America specifically, because this is where eradication is going to happen. All other nations and parts of the earth, they're going to get, shooken because nukes going to be flying everywhere. It's going to be in World War III. But this place, everybody going to shoot their nukes at this motherfucker. Eradication. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. Eradication. And that day cometh shall burn them up. All right? Saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave there neither root nor branch. And that's what eradication means. So Lord willing, this is edifying. And I want to give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone. Shalom.